When we purchased our RV home in 2019, we bought a brand new model. We bought a 2020 toy hauler, and we were excited because the decor was lighter than it had been in previous years. The furniture was lighter, there was a bit more aesthetics on the walls that were lighter, but it still had a lot of brown. And while I am not interested in stripping everything and painting everything at this time, I did want my bedroom to be a bit lighter. One of the things I completely detested was the color of the walls on the bedroom and the ability to see the glue lines, I guess, whenever the lights were on or especially at night when the shadows were available. It's just hideous looking. So the only thing I could think of that would really hide that was either to put a thick paint over it or perhaps wallpaper. My next step was deciding on the color scheme I was going to use. Now, I had already had a bedspread that I had purchased last year, and I really liked it, and it's great for the winter time, especially in the mountains of Colorado. So I used it as my inspiration piece. Next, I went down to Lowe's, and I picked up this Sherman-Williams resource that provides you some visuals of the different color schemes. What attracted me to this particular scheme was that there were colors in it that were already in the colors of the bedspread that I had and gave me inspiration to pick up some accenting pieces, like maybe for the pillows. Now, because I've never wallpapered before and I didn't want to spend a fortune on something, I wasn't quite sure how it was going to work out. I decided to do a little bit of research, watched a few YouTube videos on pill and stick wallpaper, and I made a choice. So, got on Amazon and I found an inexpensive wallpaper. I used my tools that I bought for my circuit machine, and we had a metal yardstick that allowed me to be able to use it as a straight edge. So these are the tools that I needed, and I purchased them and got to work. So this is my first attempt at using something to redecorate in a almost remodeled way. Now, what I didn't film here was that I did have to treat the walls before I started this wallpapering process. You need to make sure there's no dirt, no dust, no grease from fingertips or whatever on the walls. And I purchased something that I thought would be appropriate, and I just got that at Walmart. I think before you even start this process, you have to decide how precise you want everything to be. As I shared, this particular wallpaper was very forgiving. You could line up and it be a little bit off, and you really didn't even see it in the pattern. What I didn't do, and I would suggest, is because you have several rolls and buy more than you think you need, Amazon, you can always send it back, to lay out a couple rolls side by side or however many you need for a particular area, such as this area behind the door, and see how the patterns match up, if there is a pattern. I strongly advise you to buy something, if it's your first time, that doesn't have a pattern or it's a very forgiving pattern. I found it best to just start in a corner, overlap a little bit, because more than likely the walls are not square in the RV, and it could be that, an inexpensive wallpaper, the cuts aren't totally square either. So if you overlap a little bit, you're able to cut off the excess. Start in the corner and then just peel the paper back a little bit. Use your scraper. Make sure that you're pressing out the bubbles in the same way until you get the full sheet on. Just because of time and energy, I needed to do this in stages. So this next stage then was making sure I had everything clean and ready for the side closest to the bed. I did not go behind the bed. I used that cabinet and wall space there that had it. That was a natural cutoff to cut off the wallpaper. I used the same process that I did for the other side, which was spraying it down good, wiping it good as best as I could to get all the residue off. And then it was a matter of time of just waiting for it to dry. I did open the window to help expedite that, but also because these cleaners often have some chemicals you don't want to be breathing in, so it's always best to have great ventilation when you're working with these kinds of products. One of the things I do want to reiterate here is that this is not a tutorial on how to hang pill and stick wallpaper in your RV because I didn't do it well, but I did do it in such a way that my mistakes weren't going to show. So that's one of the reasons why I had said to you, sure, you know how really correct you want to be in your wallpaper hanging, what's going to drive you crazy and what you're not going to be able to see, and what you can live with. Because in your first attempt, like mine, you may be happy with what you get with the knowledge that you didn't spend a lot of money, so you could redo it in the future should you want to. And that brings us to things like cutting around corners and rematching different spaces. Frankly, this next section took me quite a while because I just couldn't get the hang of it. Also, I found that one of my tools that I was using wasn't quite the correct one. You want to use something that's very sharp, but you also want to lay something against it. So that's one of the reasons, again, I suggest you do your homework before you start and watch some of these wall hanging videos that teach you how to hang wallpaper in a more appropriate way. That way, you will learn their tricks to making sure you have a correct placement and that you'll be very happy with your outcome. Once the wallpaper was completed, it was time to rehang the curtains. And I completely forgot to let you guys know that we actually took the valance that was in the bedroom over the bedroom window completely out so that we could raise the curtain rod and make that window look even bigger. And I put the same curtains up that I had before. I did get a different curtain rod. I got a white one instead, maybe changing that for silver. Yeah, I think a silver one's going to look better. I also put the bedspread on, and then it was time to add a few more touches to bring in those colors that originally came from my inspiration pieces. So that came in the form of pillows. So I ordered these pillow covers from Amazon. I purchased a couple inexpensive pillows, only $5 because they were on sale clearance at Walmart. And then I had a lumbar pillow already on my bed, and I just bought a cover for it that reflected the winter time we experience in Colorado. And here's the finished project. I'm sorry the colors are not showing as vivid as I would like. Both the wallpaper and the bedspread have a hint of blue in them, which brings the color into the room. That really makes it a very calm space. So, would I do it again? Yes, I probably would, especially because it does come off fairly easy, which is a tip I want to share. After putting this wallpaper up, I did put a command hook up, not even really thinking about it, and I put something very light on it, just a hat, but it did tear that piece of wallpaper down. So, you would not be able to put command hooks on this kind of wallpaper. You would need to use something that has a very short screw to be able to hang things. I also rearranged my night table, traded out the dark wood color container that I had there for this little white one that I could put my white clock and my white phone charger on. And again, brought the aesthetics a little bit more in line, as well as brightened up the whole space. I hope you enjoyed this bedroom makeover. This is what I wanted, and you have your own desires and what you want. So don't be afraid to try something that will make you happy. Hey, thanks for watching. I really do appreciate it. And would you do me a big favor? If you like this video, would you like and subscribe? Our goal is to bring you a lot more content, and using our links is one of the things that's going to help us make that happen. And if you like this video, be sure to take a look at this playlist because we have a lot more information about the transition our bedroom has gone through.